keep himself aloof from the universe by Natsu.
Well, Ramana tells us that this belief that I am this mind, this story, this set of thoughts, this set of neurotically or non-neurotically conditioned behaviors, this set of stimulus and response, this character who has hopes and dreams and history and future and the desire to be something. Ramana tells us that our belief that we are that we have always believed ourselves to be unconsciously, that belief is the problem. Nothing that happens within the story that I believe myself to be is a problem at all. It is just the story that I believe myself to be. None of my neurotic tendencies that I just know have got to be eradicated, none of those things are a problem. None of it. None of my stupidity, none of the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune that have afflicted me in the past, none of that is the problem. The only problem is the belief that I am that person, that mind, that story, that history, that bundle of thought and reaction and conditioned behavior. And since that belief is long-standing and absolutely invisible and absolutely unconscious, there's nothing whatsoever I can do about it within the belief itself to fix it. There's nothing within the story that needs fixing, and the belief can't be fixed within the story. Obviously. I mean, maybe I could take on something else to believe myself to be, but that's just a new belief about what I am. And it will be as unsatisfactory as all the old beliefs have been. Swear to God. No matter how firmly I may be able to persuade myself that I am Buddha mind, or I am eternal consciousness, or I am love without condition, that belief, like all the other beliefs, will not satisfy. Because it's not true. It's an idea. It's a story about me. The whole show is a story about me. Every thought is part of that story about me. It's not me. So Ramana tells us all the problem, all the suffering, all the aggression, all the hatefulness, all the sense of lack and forlornness and neediness and so forth that afflict us, all these things arise only from a false belief that I am the story. All of human suffering is caused by the false belief about what I am. And if that's true, if what Ramana says is true, then the solution is obvious and it's singular. It can't be any other. The solution is the truth about what I am. The direct, certain, unmediated truth of the reality of what I am. If it's true that the false belief is the problem, then the solution is the truth. And if it's true, then we can find that out. That is true. We need not commit ourselves to a lifetime of spiritual practice or devotion to a guru or anything at all. We need only see that what I have always wanted is to know what I am, and that knowing what I am is, well, really easy. I am, after all, here. No matter what else is happening, no matter what else comes and goes, I am here. I am never absent. Never. Not for one flickering nanosecond am I absent. Thoughts are absent. Ideas are absent. Satisfaction and dissatisfaction, these are absent. But me, I am never not here. So, how hard can it be? All that's needed is the direct, unmediated, uninterpreted, unstoried experience of what I am, and the certainty, the absolute certainty that it is me. That's it. All the rest is irrelevant. Not bad, not good, not, to be done away with, not sinful, not, just irrelevant in here. So, what Ramana tells us is that if I will, whenever it occurs to me, whenever it's possible to do so, it's best if I really get serious about this and really try. See, Ramana is not very spiritually correct. It's an amazing thing about him. He cares not about effortlessness and ease and emptiness and no thought and no mind. He doesn't care about any of that. Ramana tells us to work with every ounce of effort that's available to us, with all the effort that we have put into fixing and arranging and developing and understanding and sweetening the story. Take all of that energy whenever we can and put it into one purpose only, and that is to have the direct, unmediated experience of me. Not anything having to do with the understanding of it, or the story about it, or the naming of it, but just the raw, naked experience of being me. About the spiritual people and the rejection of this, whatever this is that we are offering here. And that's not surprising to me. I'm always surprised when spiritual people actually do embrace this and are open to this. Despite the fact that everybody I talk to is spiritual, and most of the people I talk to say "we" instead of that. But it doesn't surprise me that spiritual people would reject this and turn from it. It doesn't mean that it doesn't penetrate. And it doesn't mean it has nothing whatsoever to say about the ultimate outcome in their own minds in regard to this. It is a natural movement of the defense of the identity to reject this, especially if you have a deep investment in spiritual understanding and spiritual practice and spiritual aspiration. So that doesn't trouble me much at all. I found that what's more common among the spiritual people that I speak with is for them to actually get it. Like, they'll start listening to me, or they'll listen to podcasts, or they'll read something on the website, or they'll come to a meeting or something, and they'll actually get it. I mean, they really will. They really will. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I get it. And I'm sure that they feel some exhilaration and excitement to have broken through the ice of whatever it is that prevented them from seeing this for themselves. But understanding what I say, understanding what I am offering, is not doing it. Understanding what I say is not doing it, and will give you nothing except what all your other understanding has given you throughout your entire life. The only possibility of this work being having the effect that I see that it can have is for you to do it. For you just to stop, forget about everything I said about it, forget about all my my kind of foolhardy attempts at eloquence and weaving pictures and stories and stuff. Forget all that and just look at yourself. Really. You don't really need to understand it. And that's the thing about spiritual people. That really, whether it's understood, rejected, understood, accepted, or not, none of all that's beside the point. The only thing that matters is to do it. To sit down with yourself and see if you cannot see what it is that I am suggesting that you look at. Just see whether you can. And since it is very plain to me that the mere act of trying it, I mean really, just trying it, will see you through. The mere act of trying to see what it is that I'm asking you to look at is really all that's required, and in the end will see you through. Everything will come out right in the end. If you just try to see what it is I'm asking you to look at. You. Just you. No self, no being, no God consciousness, no eternal awareness, no emptiness, none of that stuff. You got plenty of time for that. That's all quite entertaining. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you. The simple you. The ordinary you that never departs. So the only thing I can do is continue to speak to everybody that comes to me, whether they are of spiritual orientation or not, in a way that is more or less skillful, that perhaps one would hope gets more skillful as time goes on. I mean, if it doesn't, then I'm pretty dumb, right? It gets more skillful as time goes on. All I'm interested in doing is saying to whoever comes to me, no matter what their belief structure is, no matter what has served them so really wonderfully well for all these years, no matter what they think, what they do, all I want them to do is just for a second not look at any of that, not look at me, just look at themselves. Just you. Which of course makes my job pretty easy. As long as I can suggest that, my job is pretty easy. I have no responsibility for the outcome. You don't need me for the outcome. You are the outcome. In the moment of looking at yourself, that's the outcome. There's nothing more to it. There's nothing to gain from it. There's no place to go. There's no further understanding that needs to be imparted to you. Just to look at yourself.